What up? What up,
You
man? This is the old crew. Me and Aaron. Welcome to PR Project episode number 48. Yeah, I feel like we should do something for 50.
sure? I'm trying to think of
I mean, I
48.
feel like
48 kind
yeah,
of
40,
ugly.
48 is kind of ugly.
Yeah. If you showed up to your first day of the football team and they're like, "Hey, go number 48," they don't really think much of you.
Nah, in any sport, I
Mm-mm.
don't I don't think 48 is good in any sport at all. Um, Golf, they don't have numbers on the back of their thingies. Yeah, so just basketball, baseball. What about baseball? Baseball probably not that bad. What numbers
Baseball
for
numbers are almost irrelevant.
Yeah, what are numbers in baseball?
They just random. Unless you play for the Yankees, then you got to get a stupid number because they retire all their numbers.
Oh,
So
right.
like you got to get. I think Aaron Judge is number 60 something. I don't know.
What's like the highest number in baseball?
You can go to
Is there
99. That's what Aaron Judge is, 99.
really?
Yeah,
I
you
didn't
can do
know that.
1 through 99.
But I guess it is irrelevant because I never look at the back like, oh, the number 92 over there.
Right. I mean, yeah,
Doesn't matter.
because it's like you don't need to differentiate them like that. And on TV, you never really looking at the back of a baseball player unless he pitching.
Yes, exactly.
So
Or unless he's swinging on somebody on second base. Do you see that?
unless he putting them balls on somebody.
Wait, who?
Woo-hoo.
Wait, who? That wasn't Manny, was it?
Yeah, man, he's been retired for
I
years.
know. That's what I said when I saw Ramirez and I saw the locks. I'm like, wait a minute, who
Yeah,
is
no, that was
this?
my guy. I don't even know. I'm not. I don't follow
I don't know
baseball
who
like I
he is,
used
but
to,
he's my guy.
but I know the guy that got dropped. That's my guy, Tim Anderson. He's my guy, and he thought he was
Oh,
putting in work, and he ain't do much. He ain't do much. We get sat down.
yeah. And I think he tried to play it off a little bit. I was gonna send that to you earlier, but I forgot to send it. So I
Yeah.
mean, do we want to talk about that fight or do we want to talk about the other fight? Because we started off last week talking about a fight. Did you watch any of the Jake Paul and what's the name fight?
No,
You don't mess with Jake Paul, do you?
no, I don't really like the whole circus of it, to be honest.
Yeah. So I watched on Netflix, they got those untold stories.
Hmm.
So I watched the Jake Paul one. And I think it's because I just what I like about them or him for sure is that it seems like it is definitely like a circus and there's a lot going on. But it's pretty orchestrated, like it's pretty well orchestrated. You know what I mean? Like it's like and then when they show a lot of the behind the scenes people that he was just going at, he like I respect you, man, love your work. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
all for show. And then they had Mike Tyson talking because they like, what do you think about this kid Jake Paul? Like, cause he's stepping into boxing and all that stuff, right? And he's like, my ego says a lot of stuff, but he's saving the sport of boxing because no one was watching it.
So this documentary you was watching, was it produced by Jake and Logan Paul?
No, it's the Untold Stories like series. So
Oh,
it's like
okay.
but they've been through a bunch of different people. It's like maybe like the seventh or eighth one. I mean, it
Yeah.
was decent. Like
I
I
mean,
like,
I'm no huge boxing fan, right?
yeah, me
But
neither.
it's like if somebody was to say like, I beat Elliot Kipchoge in a marathon, but he had to run in dress shoes or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah, I
kind
mean,
of like
I
it,
understand like but
it's
like
weird.
I guess they thinking about it from like a ticket sales like vibe because I guess for years people have been talking about boxing has been on the decline compared to UFC,
Yeah, for sure,
you
for sure,
know.
for sure.
But
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
think
no,
it's sustainable. Like that's
huh?
it's not a sustainable influx of like
Yeah, no, because
revenue
it's
to the
because
sport.
he can't win forever, but then also it can't just be on one person, like
Yeah,
somebody else, like
and the
a
novelty of it is gonna
a boxer has to do it, like you know what I mean.
yeah.
Um,
But anyway,
anyway,
this is a running show.
I mean, it's what I guess. Wait, what's called PR project? It could be Punch Run project,
I could bore people with much nerdier things. So
right?
let's
Uh,
roll into running. Why not? How many miles do you think Jake Paul runs in training?
he doesn't look like a big mileage guy.
Yeah, he's a big dude. He's a bigger dude.
Yeah, I think I was running with Ern or something. I forgot what. That's the only person I've been running with. Oh, I guess we have to address the elephant in the room.
Or the elephant.
Where's Gary? Okay, Gary is not here because Gary's apparently frolicking around with his family, like spending time. Like I guess people are supposed to do. But yeah, Gary's out on vacation. We allowed him to take the time off, just to focus on like the things that really matter. But yeah, so Gary's not here. So everybody, let's give a little shout out and love to Gary in the comments, to make sure that he knows that he was sorely missed. But yeah, all that good stuff. And make sure you take a picture of you watching this, like a screenshot or something. Send it to Instagram. Is that what the cool kids do? Is send it, Aaron?
Sure.
Or post it on Instagram.
Post
Tag
it on
the
IG.
PR project. Tag the PR project, and then ouch! I just scratched a spot that wasn't supposed to be scratched. Yeah, tag PR project. We'd appreciate it. Yeah. Hi, Gary. We miss you, man.
This episode is called "Where's Gary?"
Yeah, wasn't he just on vacay? What? But this, I don't know. Where was he?
He went up north for a moment. Right now,
Yeah.
he's in an area of no cell service or
Yeah,
spotty Wi-Fi or something like that. So he
yeah.
can't.
He was planning on being on the show. But yeah, I feel like we can give him as much flack as necessary. Jump into his comments and say like he's a slacker. But yeah, he has no service. So he's just we got to do your thing, got to do the family vibes. So we're happy, and then it's summertime. Dude got kids, man. Got to be out here. Got to have these kids experience and stuff. Man, do you remember summer? Like what was like the dopest things that like you would do in summertime that you remember like vividly?
Not go to school. Not have to wake up early in the morning to go to school. That's one. Yeah, me in the morning has always had a thing.
Yeah, me in the morning just don't get along, and we never have.
Baseball season for sure. I played baseball from 8 years old until I graduated from high school. So summer was always baseball season.
I knew you played baseball, but I didn't know it was that long. Like,
Yeah. My whole childhood, for the most part, I think I played on more. I might have played on more baseball teams. Yeah, I definitely played on more baseball teams than basketball teams in my life. So, yeah, it was.
So you was like pretty good at baseball.
I guess.
So are you a better basketball player than a baseball player?
Yeah.
So if you guys haven't, well, no, you don't post anything about it. So Aaron every now and then will come out the woodwork and shoot like 1,000 shots in a row and make them apparently, or he'll go to like friendly cookouts and cook people, aka hurt people's joints, also known as ankles. We don't know anybody that's happened to.
No. The victims will remain anonymous. But no, I mean, I just like sports, man. I'm not the most physically gifted person, athletically or from a size standpoint. So that was always a challenge, but I've always enjoyed playing sports and just competing and seeing if I could be better than I was. And that's kind of how I got into running, because it was like, okay, same thing, same difference.
Yeah. Yeah, like so, cause like I played like all the sports and stuff, and like, but like just in the neighborhood though. Like it was like the same thing. I was always like the shorter guy, and so it was like imposter syndrome vibe. Like, yeah, I'm not about to go try out. Like I would be decent at like a few different things, but I was just like, and the people that like would go try out for the team, like I'm better than you for sure. You know what I mean? But I just didn't have like the courage to go try out. But golf was like a thing that like I was definitely much better at than I should have been. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna stick with this, and then like that worked out. And then running was kind of the same thing. Like I was better than I should have been up front. So I was like, I'll just keep going. This is cool. Anyway,
Alexis says summer was for swimming and watching The Price is Right. Who was the host of The Price is Right for me? Is that Bob? No, Bob Barker.
No, Sajak, Pat Sajak. Oh, Bob Barker. Wait, Bob Barker was Wheel of. Wait, what? Wait, Bob Barker's Wheel of Fortune, right?
No, Wheel of Fortune is No, Wheel of Fortune is Pat Sajak.
Okay.
The Price is Right is the wheel that you pull down. Come on down. That's the.
And
Price
that was who? And that's Bob Barker?
Yeah, because he had that long, skinny microphone.
And Pat Sajak is Price is Right.
Yeah.
Wait. She said Bob Barker.
Yeah,
Wait.
Price is Right. Both of them. Price is Right. Bob Barker.
Okay.
They
Right.
and Price is Right for sure. For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
I think Drew Carey did it for a minute. I don't know if he's still doing it, but it ain't
Yeah,
the
I
same.
think he is. I think he is. Yeah.
Price is Right came on at like 11:30. So yeah, you can only watch it if you didn't go to school. Like if you went to school, it's over. You won't watch Price is Right.
You know, I've definitely witnessed AB cooking on the court. I've seen it in an Instagram story before for sure. Oh, Barker. Okay. All right, guys. All right. Days of Our Lives. Okay. Wow. Here we go. So my grandpa used to always watch. Dang, not Days of Our Lives, but the Young and the Restless. I think it was.
Yeah.
Whatever show had Victor. Remember? Oh, did any of your people watch that?
My mom watched All My Children and
Mom. I know
General
you want to hear. Mama Runs. You want to hear what did Grandpa watch? Was it It was what's the name of it? I don't know.
It probably was Young and the Restless. That was
Young and Restless, yeah.
Young
Because
and
that
Restless.
was like super drama, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
They was all super drama. It was like plays on TV.
It's like when you watching like some of these new like shows like that are like, you know, like Power or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, it's all like kind of like, you know, oh, that's crazy. But then you start looking at like, oh, this is just an updated version of like Days of Our Lives and Young and Restless. Like it's so, oh, Days of Our Lives. Okay. My mom said Days of Our Lives. All right. Cool. I swore it was Young and Restless. But
Alexa said, yeah, the OG is Bob Barker, followed by Young and Restless. I guess these things went back to back. I know All My Children started at 1, I think. And then
what was All My Children? What was All My Children about, bro?
I don't even know, bro. My mom used to watch it literally every day, bro. Every day. And then General Hospital. She watched General Hospital and then she would go to work at the hospital. I'm just like, this is weird.
Wait, General Hospital is still no. That was the new show, Grey's Anatomy. That's not new, but like that's like the long standing, like that's like people are like diehard fans of that.
Alexa says Victor Newman on Young and the Restless. I don't know. Maybe Granddad was watching both.
Victor, Victor definitely, Young and Restless. Yeah, he was probably watching both, but for sure, he'd be like, man, that boy Victor's a bad boy. It would be like, that's all he would talk about. Man, and don't go in there and touch that VHS. If you go in there and like mess with that TV and you stop that VHS for that planned recording, you will lose
your days, bro.
Finger, bro.
That's so man. My dad used to record Detroit Pistons games so he could watch them later. And I'm just like,
I guarantee like a 70-year-old man created like a DVR.
Because he was just tired of people touching
his tape. You know what? I have to figure out a way so these damn kids. All right. Hold on. All right. This is actually more fun to talk about running. All right. I don't know what this question is. Okay. Do any of you do Yazzo's 800s for marathon training? You know about this, don't you?
So, I've heard it, but I don't think I've done much research.
You looking it up?
It says Yasso 800s are a track workout that can help you predict your marathon time. The theory is that whatever pace you can run 10 800s, the theory is that whatever pace you can run the 10 800-meter intervals will predict your marathon time in hours. So if you run 800-meter repeats in 3 minutes and 30 seconds, for instance, this predicts your marathon time
average
in hours and 30 minutes.
Average.
Yeah. So if you can bang out,
if you slow down.
Yeah, if you can bang out 10 by 800 at 3 minutes per, so 6-minute pace, then you can run a 3-hour marathon. Is kind of what it's saying.
Man, I gotta find that going. That's gonna be tough, bro. Because like, you imagine like trying to like run like a 2:45 or something like that, 10 times.
I mean, that's 5.
Yeah, that's fast. That's pretty. I mean, it's like, yeah. I mean, I guess, right?
What's the rest though?
Yeah. What's the rest? Richard, have you done it? So, what is the rest? That's what he said. What is the rest you take between reps? And at what point in your training cycle do you do them? I don't know, man. I wonder. This is a good question.
We about to figure it out right now. So if you're wondering how to do Yasso 800s, you can follow this simple formula. Run 10 800-meter intervals in your goal marathon time with a recovery jog between each interval that is the same amount of time as your interval. For instance, if you run an 800-meter interval in 4 minutes, then you do a recovery for 4 minutes between each interval.
Sure. They're posted on Instagram. Love to Gary.
That's
make sure that he knows that he was.
Yeah, you wild.
With me?
That's interesting. That's interesting. So, would I be able to do 10 by 800 in 3 minutes with 3-minute recovery? I think so. That don't sound crazy.
It doesn't, but then I guess it seems like I wouldn't try it right now, but I would try it at some point. Seems like a pretty crazy thing. Seems like a pretty crazy workout.
I mean, it's just 5 miles. 5 miles of work.
At 5:30. I guess, man.
It's like in between 5 and 10K pace, something like that.
Okay. Yeah. I feel tired.
Mark said he's done them every time 2 weeks before a marathon.
2 weeks? Okay, Mark, are they? It's hard to be predicted as long as you have base training. So, I mean, how accurate, how close have you been? That's the question. Like, that seems like a lot to do 2 weeks out.
I mean, we be doing some big stuff. I'll be doing some big stuff 2 weeks out.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think the last workout that I was the last that 10 days out workout was 4 3 2 1.
3:10
marathon pace, 3 at marathon pace, 2 at half marathon pace, and then the last mile was at like 10K pace.
So 3:10, and then he ran 3:18 marathon.
So maybe it is a pretty close predictor.
But I'm like, what if you ain't do the Yazoo thing?
Yeah, I just feel like if I failed that workout, it's over for the marathon. Like if you get to interval number 7 and you like, bro, I can't do this.
Yeah, it's like, never mind.
For the marathon.
Never mind. All right. Alexis says it seems like it could be a good indicator. Can be one indicator of fitness, but so much goes into the marathon that would take results with a grain of salt. I mean, I guess it's probably so many people have done it that it's just like it's pretty close a lot of times, you know? Yeah, it's definitely a good confidence builder, that's for sure. I mean, because if you nail them, then it's like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, all right.
Thank you for teaching us about that.
Man, thank you for getting us out of that tangent about soap operas, because that was getting a little crazy.
Time television.
Yeah, so I guess so I'm just gonna throw this up here really quick, Aaron. So this is like just to ask us anything. I don't know if you guys will be able to type fast enough to have us like start with those questions right now, but feel free to like throw in questions for us in particular, like at any time in the show. We'll try our best to see them and then like deviate to answer the question without getting too lost in the sauce. Mark is rapid fire; he's ready. But first, let me start it off because I got some questions from I posted on Instagram.
Before you do, everybody that's here, if you could like the video, I like how it's just been looking nicer for our videos to have likes on them. So if you're watching on YouTube right now, go ahead and click that thumbs up just to keep the ball rolling a little bit. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and then you know what we just appreciate a lot of you because a few of you for sure are just like always coming back, always checking us out, tapping in. And I mean, that's really how it all starts. It's like just we're really doing the show for like a few of you for sure, several of you really, and that always come back and to see your names over and over is just dope. And then you're always engaged. So thank you. We appreciate it. Like the YouTube video, tell a friend how amazing the show is, but we'll keep showing up and trying to make the content better and better. And hopefully one day we'll be at a city near you, doing cool stuff. So thank you. So hey, ask us any questions, but real quick. So Steph Sandoval 78 says, how did you three meet each other?
That's funny. Somebody asked us that on the run on Monday. He just randomly was like, how did you guys meet?
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, met him at a run.
No, first thing you said was like, I don't know this guy.
You assume because we're black, we know each other?
Yeah, because you guys are black and talking to each other, running very well. but he was just like, because we were both just like having full conversation, running at a pace. It was like, the normal easy pace for us. So it was a random question, but he seemed like he was a good guy, happy to be there. And so the answer to the question is through We Run 313, really. I definitely met you through We Run 313, obviously. I met Gary through like Instagram, really, though. Gary, like, I think you reached out and was like, hey, we should run together sometimes. I said, sure. And then I ran with him. That's that time that like he took me on a flat route that had like 500 feet of elevation gain, probably like in 8 miles or something like that, at an easy pace for him at the time, which was like 7:45. Gary did not know what easy pace was for a very, very long time. But now we're all good. He runs the same routes, but we're all still good though.
As the old people would say, Gary turned to everything but loose on that first run.
Exactly. Then the next day I show up at that long run, trashed. That was when I got hurt. I blame it on Gary.
Yeah.
And then Heather Abs runs says, how old is Gary?
Gary said he graduated high school in 1994, so whatever that means.
Did he? That's when he graduated high school?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he said 74.
I think that's his birth year, bro.
Yeah, probably is. Yeah. So yeah, I think Gary's I think he's 47. I think he's okay with us. I mean, he's a proud like Masters runner,
Yeah. No, he's not ashamed of this. He's not.
Yeah, he's not ashamed. I talk a lot of junk about it, but I mean, he's not even that much older than me, really, in the grand scheme of things. But Gary, man, Gary be working.
He's
like sometimes like when I'm running next to him, I'm like, what is happening right now? And then it just shows you like how much longer like that he has to go. Like because he doesn't look like he's stopping anytime soon. Yeah. So I'm thinking about us, and I'm like, dang, like we really the running is really like a lifelong thing for real. And then in Twilight we saw the first. Well, it was an 80-year-old named David at Twilight 5000 last week, and a 72-year-old named David in the same race, and they both finished. I don't know what their times were, but
they didn't finish last.
Like, so let that.
I was listening to a podcast with Maddox from Roses, and she was saying the same thing about Erica. She just like, when I see Erica run, it lets me know that I have so much time to like keep going, and I'm just like, that's so dope to have somebody with a little more experience to be able to say like, no, you're fine. You're on the right path. You still got plenty of time, because it's so easy to get caught up in like, man, okay, I got a marathon cycle and then another marathon cycle, and then I'll be this age, and then I'll be this, and it kind of like seems like the walls are closing in on you, but then you take a step back and I'm like, okay, Gary is 15 years older than me, bro. Like I got at least 15 good years in me if I respect my body enough and I don't get hurt and I don't fall out of love with running. I've got 15 years at least.
But then, like it said, like if all those, even to add to that, if all those things happen that you just mentioned, you still got 15 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To like figure that out. Like you get hurt for 6 months and you whatever, or whatever it is. Like you so much time, and it's like. But the thing is, like it's not like, oh, I could, if Gary's this age doing it. Like I literally like he knows and feels that he's got PRs left in the marathon, half, like all of the distances. He PR, didn't he PR this year already in the 5K? No, yeah, he did in Ann Arbor. Yeah, he PR'd in Ann Arbor.
Dexter Ann Arbor?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And you know what I'm saying? Like it's just cool. Like to what Maddox, what you said about Maddox, like it is cool to see someone like just getting after it. You know what I mean? And having a good time. Yeah, Gary's old. Anyway.
We say all that to say.
Yeah, so here's Mark says 54 is the new 30. I'm not gonna say that, but 45 maybe is the new 30. What they say? I don't know. Anyway, all right, let's get some other questions popping. Those are the extent. I don't know anything about Mark says, or what do you know about ketones? I don't know anything about them.
I've listened to a couple podcasts, but that doesn't make me an expert.
Is it like, or have you listened to enough to think that you'd want to do it?
Not really.
It's. I mean, I don't like. I've only like heard just like a couple things about it. It feels just like a. It feels like a not a fad. I mean, it feels like a thing, like a you
It's
know.
a trendy, pseudoscience kind of vibe. I don't know.
I mean, I've heard a lot of like nutritionists like really bad like bag on it though. Like no, it's it's not. You know. But maybe if it's a mental thing, maybe if it's like a you take it, you think you're amazing, and you run hard.
Plus, this
Uh,
placebo effect is real.
I mean, I think that's true though. All right. So we got Maurice. I'm training for a marathon after taking years off of running. Do you think that volume is more important than nailing long run distances, assuming those are 25+% of your weekly mileage?
Yeah, I would agree. I think running, because in the grand scheme of things,
Oh, nailing.
yeah, I think in the grand scheme of things, um, you're gonna run more miles than you run long run miles. So it's like, do you look at it like 10% of my, so let's say 10% of an entire marathon build is just long runs, right?
Mm.
Like your total mileage. Would you rather, what do you think weighs more? Like the 90% of other stuff or
Yeah.
the 10% of the long run? I think we put a big emphasis on the long run just because it is something that kind of looks like the race and
Yeah.
it's like challenging, and it's like such a like a like key, like a keystone of the training. But I think everything else is just as important, if not more important, than just the long run. Sure, it's great to nail the long run. It builds confidence. It
Mhm.
makes you feel like you'll be able to do it. But that easy run the day after, or that workout, if you're doing track workouts or if you're doing speed intervals, fartleks, anything like that, that other stuff is just as important. So if you're not nailing the long run early in the block, or if you're not nailing the long run at all, it's okay. Just keep working, and because you also have to kind of train up to be able to nail that long run. So trust the process. If you have a plan that you're following, understand why you're doing the things you're doing, and yeah, just trust that things will work themselves out. And then also, the long run is something that requires a little extra detail, a little extra attention to detail. So make sure that you're fueling right, make sure that you're hydrating right, make sure you're pacing it right. Like there's a lot of variables that can go into maybe not hitting the exact time or distance on a long run that you want to.
Mhm.
So try to do your best to figure out what might be causing, what might be the, the underlying reason for it, and try to address it. And that'll also improve your ability on race day because you've been there, you've tried it out, you've bumped your head against the wall, and then hopefully once you get to race day, you'll have everything in order. You have all your ducks in a row, and things will come together.
Yeah, I think too, like, well said. And I think too, like, I think maybe sometimes like there can be other things like involved too. Like you could be doing some of the. I'm not saying you're not nailing your workouts. I know you just asked Maurice. I'm not saying you're not crushing them, but like if you're having trouble with your longer runs, like one, check the distance. Like make sure that it because everyone feels like you got to do like a 20 miler or something like that, or you need to do these like really big numbers. But I mean, not that it's the same for everyone, but I ran my first marathon and my longest run was 16 miles. And it's like, oh, how did you didn't get to 20 or 22? Like, and to a certain extent, like it probably do more harm than good to go run a 20 or 22 miler and then not be able to like really get after it the next week and continue. Like whatever number on that weekend, that long run lets you continue the next day and not feel like complete trash where you have to take time or risk injury and all that stuff is like that's something to throw in there. But then also, if you're going too fast all week or like you're not doing some of the things you should be all week long, then to expect yourself to like jump up and do well on an 18 miler or a 20 miler, it can be tough. Like if Aaron, like if you have a big workout on Wednesday and let's just say like all week you just for some reason you had some peer pressure and all your runs are faster than they should be, Sunday's just gonna be, we may not think about it that way, but Sunday's just gonna be more difficult.
Yeah.
So like I said, I'm not saying you're not doing Maurice, but this may be for everybody else too. But it's like just check, see how the week is going, you know? And then also don't worry about like the distance as much. Like you don't need everybody doesn't need to do 20 to 22 milers. It took me like 4 marathon training blocks for her to like actually have me at 20 twice, in a marathon training block, which was frustrating because it's like everybody else is doing them, but it's like work your plan and do all that stuff.
Yeah, and it's also we get caught up in mileage when it comes to long runs, but it's more about time. It's more about time on feet than it is about mileage, because what someone can do 14 miles in an hour 30, it might take someone else 2 hours and 15 minutes to do that. So and that's two totally different long runs, because you're in the same you might be in the same effort range, but someone in, let's say, zone 3 for 2 hours and 15 minutes, that's almost an entirely different like workout than an hour and a half in zone 3. So focus on trying to get that. Don't worry about distance, but if you can get that long run to 2.5 hours and you make it through without feeling like it was a race effort, then you're on the right track.
And if you're doing your long runs and you're like going over 3 hours, unless you're like ultra training, I mean, I'm not a professional, but I just feel like you could start having like diminishing returns at a certain point. You're out there for a little bit. I mean, maybe every now and then, but I just feel like I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a tough thing. It's a tough call.
And back to the trusting part, Dante says trusting can be the tough part. It's something I have to check in with daily. I agree. And it's, for me, it's not even trusting a plan. It's just trusting myself. Like, because a lot of times I want to go out and like prove to myself things in workouts.
Right. Yeah.
But it's like, no, trust that you'll be able to execute on race day, and don't be a workout warrior. Don't try to be a superhero in a long run just because you feel like you have to do it, or you have to prove it to yourself that you can do it. Save that for race day, because there's only so many times we get to break that glass and pull that, fire extinguisher out. So trust yourself, but trust the training, but also trust yourself and know that you'll be able to perform on race day.
So me and Aaron was talking about this today or yesterday, or one of those days. But we were talking about like tempo runs, and like how I was watching this NN running little documentary thing where Joshua Chepta, the guy who was like the 5,000 meter, 10,000 meter like world champion or world record holder for a couple of those. And he was like saying that what they focus on for like some of these longer like half marathons is maintaining the tempo. Because like a lot of us go into a tempo run, like say your tempo pace is 7 minutes, right? And that's like what you're supposed to do for like 6 miles in a row. And you get out there and then you start at like 7 or 7:05, and then by the time you're done, you're like at 6:45 or something, like, because you're feeling like you're supposed to show yourself or show the fitness that I can do this I can negative split a 6 mile tempo. Like there's days where progression runs are a thing, and that's part of like your plan. But if it's like a straight tempo, it says like your marathon pace or this pace for 6 miles, 10 miles, whatever. The challenge in that, to me, into like what he said is to hold the pace, that pace for that distance. Because when you get on, marathon, morning or like race day for whatever race you're doing, you normally are trying to hold that pace for a very long time, and then maybe cut down at the end because like you're trying to close out fast. But you're not like negative splitting from mile 1 to 10 and then like starting over again. Like it's a lot of patience, and like it takes effort to control a pace, especially in the middle of a training block where everything feels fine. But you want to be so like in tune with what marathon pace feels like. You don't really want to know for real what like 5:45 feels like if your goal is like 6:10. You want to be comfortable at 6:10 so you can go all the way, and then like whatever you need to do at the end, maybe just let it all loose. That's different. But it's a lot of practice of just like staying steady. And I think that's what I'm going to try to do that more often, because I think I always, kind of close out fast because that's like a cool thing to do. And it makes me feel good, like ego wise. But I'm going to try to like flip the ego and say like, how can I maintain this pace and like just metronome knock these splits out,
Yeah, for sure.
Side venture there. All right. So Alexis says, I still need to decide on a race day shoe for New York. What would your top choices be right now? And do you know if anything new is supposed to come out before November? You go first, Aaron.
What is my favorite marathon shoe right now? I don't know. I'm not. I think all of the super shoes have kind of become just regular shoes now. You can't really call them super shoes anymore because like all of them are super shoes. So if everybody is a superhero, then
no one's a superhero.
Yeah, like if everybody's Superman, then
Wait, what? Wait, you got that from a movie, right?
Bro, I don't watch movies.
That come on, shut up, bro.
I'm serious.
No, listen, like the exact thing you just said came from The Incredibles. Like the villain literally was trying to make everyone super, so no one would be super. Doesn't ring a bell.
Sorry, I've never seen The Incredibles, bro.
Never seen this. But yeah, like so I mean, for me, I think I agree. There's okay, so I think I was gonna go in a weird way with that, but I think that my favorite shoes right now with carbon fiber plate in them for race day is, I think it's Vaporfly 3 still. That's up there. The On Cloud Boom Echo 3. I've been wearing it more, and it's starting to get a little different, which I'm liking. A little more comfortable than that first because they're really aggressive in the beginning and maybe not like in a comfortable way, but I feel like they're kind of locking in. And then if I had to throw one more in there, I feel like I'd say the New Balance Super Comp. I mean, what is it? What am I trying to say? SC Elite. Yeah, Super Comp Elite 3. I'd say that's up there for me.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, because you got the Hoka Rocket X2, which is a really great shoe. Only thing I don't like about it is like today it was rain. I mean, they got to change the outsole. That's it. But like some of those shoes are starting to feel like the same. Like you said, like there's a line of them that are good shoes, but they all kind of feel like the same shoe.
Yeah.
The ones I mentioned are just so different. They just feel different and maybe a little more aggressive. But you like the alphas, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I do. I ran them today. I ran them Thursday.
Oh, Mizuno.
Wave Rebellion
Pro. Wave Rebellion Pro.
Interesting. I think I like those too.
Yeah. So yeah, who asked the question? Oh, Alexis. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, so yeah, the Mizuno Wave Rebellion Pro. I think I put that above the New Balance Super Comp Elite 3. I think that's like my third favorite shoe right now.
I'm sure Nike will be. Does Nike usually release in the fall or the spring?
What? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a surprise for you. I know this has been bugging you.
Hey, everybody.
What's up, man? You were watching, just like missing. You just couldn't stay away.
I got back. I went to the Sky Bridge up here in Boyne, and I got back just in time to say hi and check in with y'all.
What's the Sky Bridge? What's that again?
It's a bridge over like the valley. Boyne's a big old ski area.
Yeah.
So they built a giant bridge to walk across and sell tickets and get money.
Yeah. Speaking of money,
G Money.
Marxie's called you G Money.
Sure.
Did you did you hear us discussing your vintage age?
My vintage age?
Yeah.
No, I haven't heard anything.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
I saw some of the comments on YouTube talking about Days of Our Lives and Younger Than
Yeah. That's what got your attention. You wanted to join and talk about Days of Our Lives.
I don't know enough about that, but
yeah. So we were just. I think somebody on Instagram asked how old you were because I posed the question. How old? Somebody said how old is Gary? We just talked about it and how you like inspire us to like to keep pushing. We got long road ahead of us. You know what I mean? And you're still chasing PRs.
Hey, I mean, in all seriousness, though, I don't know if you guys talked about this, but this weekend at Tracksmith, watching that gentleman, 80 years old, racing on the track, he looked good. Like he looked real good. His arms were moving. He had good form. I mean, I hope to be that way. Running 5,000 meters on the track when I'm 80.
Yeah. I mean, I was when he went by, like I thought about like I want to be like that at 65. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's crazy.
I mean, that was the coolest race because they had a 9-year-old and an 80-year-old in the same
In the
race.
same
I mean,
race.
that was awesome.
That 9-year-old had some swag though. He had a gold chain on with a cross.
It's funny, he got progressively redder as he went.
Yeah.
When he finished, he couldn't even smile. He was just like done. Like, I'm going to sit down. That's it.
We were Aaron and I were talking about we were doing our warm-up run. Did you run Grandma's? Did you get some Pringles? Are you the same kid?
Do you have marathon experience?
Man, like I couldn't imagine being 9 years old running a 5,000 meter on a track with a bunch of grown folks. Man, that's so cool.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah,
beating some of them too. That's crazy.
Yeah, he beat a lot of them. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Are you sticking with us for a little bit, Gary?
A little bit. Yeah. I got some time.
All right, cool. All right. So we're gonna get to that. Dante asked how was the race today, Aaron? We can get to that after Gary splits. If actually we're getting kind of close, we might as well talk about it now. You want to talk about it?
Sure.
All right. So Gary, we're the theme right now that we're doing is when to double back, and so Aaron, I'll let you take it away about the theme, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. So today I decided. Well, actually, it was last night. I decided to run a 5K on the road this morning after I ran. I attempted to run the Twilight 5000 in Ann Arbor on Thursday, but it didn't go so well. I got maybe halfway through the race and I just dropped. I didn't have the mental capacity to continue. It was weird. I don't know what that was about, but yeah, I kind of got in my head about it and I just stopped and I'm just like, I don't want to run anymore. Like, I don't want to run this race anymore. And I just stopped. It was it kind of flies in the face of everything that I preach about perseverance and like determination and all that stuff. Cause I just bailed at like the first sign of any problems. And I don't know why I did that, but so I figured, that we as a group we were scheduled to do the Dearborn Decades 5K. We do this race every year. I've ran it every year since 2019. So I figured I would jump in and try to just like show myself that I can push to that line and like not chicken out and like just stop and give up. So that was the goal for today. It wasn't like PR. It wasn't like, well, I would have liked to PR, but it wasn't like, that wasn't the main goal. I knew it wouldn't be, it's not the most ideal situation after like going through an entire like process of trying to prepare myself to run a 5,000 on a track on Thursday. And then also running half of it at race effort. So I wasn't sure how I would feel. I know yesterday's easy run felt decent. So I told my coach, I think I just want to try it. Like, I think I just want to go out there and give it a go. So I figured I would go with the same strategy that I had on Thursday, get out at around 550 pace and just like try to hold on for as long as possible. It got real scary for me on a track at about 1.25 miles or so. And same thing happened today. It's like when you go, for me, at least when I go a long time without racing, it's almost like a foreign feeling to have that just shock of like, when you know, like it's getting dark and like being able to sit in that. Cause like, it's real easy to run away. Well, no pun intended, run away from it and just like throw in the towel. But I guess for the 5K, especially the whole thing is just like, how long can you hold on to the rope? How long can you keep your hand near this fire and not pull back and pull it away? So yeah, I was just like determined to stay in it and not let go. And so my second mile, so I got out, I think my first mile was like 5:55, second mile was like 6:01, third mile was like 6:10. So I did lose it a little bit. But
hold on, yeah, that last mile is tricky though.
that last mile it's the definition of I want to see if you can quit. So because there are some nice little climbs, not necessarily like big hills, but just like
5K
hills in bad spots, and it's hard when you're running at your 5K pace to try to hold on to that. So yeah, I welcome the challenge. I knew it would be hard. I knew it would get ugly. I think that's also something with Tracksmith. For some reason in my mind, I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna sail through this. Like it's gonna be smooth. I'm gonna feel good the whole time. And that was just like I didn't prepare my mind for what was to come. So today I was just like, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna feel bad. But it'll only be 19 minutes. It'll only be 20 minutes at the absolute most. So just give it all you got and call it good. So I mean, I get to the way the Dearborn course is set up, it's kind of an out and back. You get to a point where you have to make a full complete U-turn. And when I got to that full complete U-turn, it's like you naturally lose speed. So as I was picking back up, I'm like, oh, I'm running 6:45 right now, and I'm not gonna be able to get it back. And then I just kept looking down at my watch, and I was just at 6:05, 6:05, 6:05, and I'm like, this doesn't feel like 6:05. Like it sucks, but it feels like I'm running slow, and it sucks. But I was still pretty close to where I wanted to be. So I'm just like, keep pushing, and yeah. So I accomplished what I set out to accomplish, which was to stay in the fight and not let those dark thoughts take over. And yeah, we did that, and I was happy with the result. Ran some cool down miles, and I lived to fight another day. I didn't die, so I'm pleased with the result.
I like to throw in there. I had you, so I was like throwing there. Mark said you are human. Dante said this and pointed at the human part, and that you're human as well. But at the same time, I 1000%, I 1000% like resonate with like that feeling though, like just knowing that you want to like get back to it. So it's like, so hats off to you for like doing that, because number one, you do have to be like for like a five or any race really that like is definitely like any goal pace for you, whether it's a 5K to a marathon, like you do have to be like, you do have to say to yourself at one point, like this could get bad at any point. And as long as you say that to yourself and you're still ready to go forward with it, then it's an easier thing to like to work through. But if you're thinking that this workout or this whatever or is gonna just, I'm like, what, you're not even thinking about it. When like if adversity hits you hard enough, it's just like, I don't even know what's going on right now. Like I have no idea what to do. So like for you to just turn around in 4 days or something like that, just be like, I'm gonna do it again on a course hit much more difficult and hotter than like weather-wise typically than you did than the track. The hats off for that, for running that back for sure.
Yeah. Well, and I mean the weather was a little more on my side this morning than it was.
Yeah, it was a little cooler, but still, yeah. But normally, like all the years that I've run it is always 80 something, 70, 80 degrees and all that. But the reason why we called it went double back is because I kind of had the same vibe. This week I was supposed to do a 6x1 mile track workout, or just a workout in general, and I ended up doing it on the track. And I had a very similar energy where I was just like, I wasn't worried about the workout. I used to get really nervous and anxious about workouts, and some maybe in a good way at sometimes, but sometimes obviously in a bad way. But I had no thoughts about this workout whatsoever, and it was on my son's birthday too, so I kind of like was maybe preoccupied with that. But I'm like, all right, cool, and I got some free time at 1:00. I think it was like 82 degrees or something like that. And at 1:00 on a sunny day, I decided to do a 6x1 mile at 10 seconds faster than marathon effort on a track. First two intervals were fine. Second, like halfway through the third one, like it all of a sudden just got to be like the heat just seemed like it did. Maybe it just got hotter. I'm not sure, but maybe the wind died. I don't know. But it just like it went left fast, and I was just like, I finished the interval at my pace, but I just in the cool down I was like, I'm not doing. I can't do 3 more of these. And part of it I think was a smart decision, because like I felt different than I normally do. even when I'm like at my like hottest, points. So I just like I didn't want to die on my son's birthday. Number one, but then number two is just like it's I picked the wrong time. I didn't like respect the workout at all, and then I definitely didn't respect the 82, 83 degrees like with direct sun. So it's like this is just a bad idea. And normally I would just drop that workout because it wasn't like I didn't bomb the workout necessarily. I just picked a terrible time to do it, and I just couldn't fight through. So normally I would just let that go. But then with Berlin being like 9 weeks out at that point, I was like, there's no way. Like I didn't want to leave that on the schedule. So I talked to my coach just like you did. Like you got like always check with the coach, make sure it fits into the plan. Because sometimes she would be like, no, just leave it. You're fine. You're fit. Don't worry about it. But she's like, I came to her with a plan. I said, I'll do this and I'll do that and I'll do it this way. And she's like, yeah, sure. Go after it if you feel like it. And I doubled back and did a workout, the rest of the workout. So I did another 3 by 1 mile, and I tried to make it a little faster just so I could kind of like prove to myself that I'm not terrible. But it was like 10, 15 degrees cooler, and the workout went great. So I definitely felt you when you said like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna run it back. So I'm like, that's perfect, because sometimes you just have to check that box, especially if you're about to go into a training block or you're in one. Sometimes you gotta check the box, but then others you just have to let it go. Because if it's going to be something that's going to mess up another workout, or you think that it could be a detriment if you do nail it the next time around, or you try to make up that 10 miles and have it pushing up against like a 16-mile run when you're only supposed to be doing a 6 the day before, stuff like that could long-term or short-term mess up your like recovery between runs. So sometimes it's smart to just go after it and jump right back into it. And other times you just gotta let it go. But Aaron's in a point where you're not even training for Indy yet, technically, right?
Yeah, today would have been like one of my first like half marathon specific workouts. I was supposed to do 3 by a mile and a half at half marathon pace. So a 5K isn't too much like off from that really. So I figured it was doable. And
and the effort and the speed was faster too than what your 3 by 1, 3 by 1.5 would have been.
Yeah, for sure. So it was comparable. So it wasn't like I was supposed to do a 16-mile long run or anything like that, and it got swapped out for a 5K race. So it worked out. If I was a little closer to half marathon race day, then I probably wouldn't have did it. But I also wanted like I said, I haven't raced since Bayshore, and then so I've been to 2 start lines in the last 4 days. After not racing since May. So
get out the way.
Yeah, so it's like I put on Strava. I'm like, racing is a skill, and you have to, the only way you can like get better at it is by doing it. So I know I tend to be a little more selective with when I race, and I kind of put the races on pedestals. So my goal was to just like go into it. Even when I saw you this morning, you was like, you racing? I was like, yeah. Like, I didn't want to make it a big thing. It was like, yeah, I'm racing, but it is what it is. So that was
I think I would have raced if I had the opportunity to do the same thing, Aaron. I would have raced today.
Yeah.
If the opportunity presented itself. Like I actually looked for races up here in Boyne. Like, is there anything going on? Because I know I ran faster than 18:05. I know it. Yeah. And I wanted to prove it, but run tangents better, get in the lane 1 better, like all the excuses. But I know I'm faster than what I was given. I want that. I want that proof. I want to show folks like, look, this is the time I really am. And I was looking for something to prove it. Not for me per se, but like to show people because my ego is so huge. Yeah. Like, look, I can still do this. Yeah. And I would have done the same thing. I think
I had the perfect preparation for running tangents. I was go-kart racing yesterday, and go-kart racing with teenagers, and they are literally insane. Like, I see why they don't give these people driver's license, because they drive the go-karts like they have no sense. I'm like, this is not like Mario Kart. Like, we are really like
you're in this, like you're like,
really and these things really like cause money and stuff. But I was just looking, and I'm just like, they are just driving all over the road. Like, they don't care. They're having fun. Like, they just doing whatever. But I'm like, no, I'm gonna try to run drive these tangents. I'm gonna try to get as close to the rail as I can. And it was the same way today. I was just like, all right, I know this course like the back of my hand because I've ran this course 5 times before. So I'm going to try to run it as efficiently as possible. And hopefully that will help me cut some time down and not waste steps and waste energy. And I think I did a good job at that because my watch told me I ran 3.09. So,
and just to throw out there, like Trivium Richard, the guy Richard that owns Trivium and runs it, he's very meticulous with his distances. So if you're able to, if you ran 309, like you ran the tangents that he didn't think, but but that's real though. Like if you're running a half marathon or anything, but if you're running a half marathon or a full marathon and you don't run the tangents well, you literally could be adding a minute or more onto your finish time. Like if you go back and look at like your marathon PR and it says like 26.3 or 0.4, that's a long time, to take off of your thing. And that's the biggest thing like that pros are all about is running the tangents, because that's 30 seconds to minutes, that you could drop in PR.
I mean, on Thursday I ran 3.2. That's
on a track.
On a track, that's 25 to 30 seconds added on.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's on a track. I mean, that's just being in lane 2. That's not like, that's not like going big on the corner. That's literally one lane over, and you're adding that many seconds on. That's insane. So I think that's one of the things I'm going to work on, even today on these trails I was running on. Find the tangents. Don't just follow the curve. Just practice that.
So a lot of people when you're on a street and you say you make a right turn, and then a lot of people will just be on the right side until a certain point, and then they make that left. But like pros will turn that right corner and create a straight line to the turn immediately. Yep. There's no like deviation. It's just like turn that corner. If I'm turning left, I'm gonna try to diagonal straight to the corner. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You gotta treat it like you're getting paid by the step.
But dang, Alexis.
There you go.
Alexis ran.
That's cap though, because the buildings in Chicago throws the GPS.
Oh yeah, that might be a little off too. Yeah, but then at the same time, Chicago's a very busy. So you could add quite a bit in the beginning too. Like I'd rather run on the wrong side of a road, like not wrong side, but on the outside of a road longer than I would normally and lose that tangent than zigzag. Yeah. Because zigzag is too much energy. It causes too much frustration. And then you're adding distance anyway. You're just doing it in the middle of the road. But yeah, I second you on the go-kart thing, Aaron, because Thomas, I thought I was going to be my son's, he was 12 at the time. I knew I was just going to beat him. No, there's no thought in my head that I was going to lose to this kid on a go-kart. And when I tell you, I had to almost act like I was just being like just chilling, because he was beating me so bad every single time, like so far. And I didn't understand it, but I just don't know if he has any, like, he has no fear of like spitting out or like flipping the thing or whatever. And I'm like, I thought I was being a good driver. Like, I mean, I thought I was doing a good job. And he was just, every time he just took off. I'm like, I didn't get it. I don't know what's up. I'm not looking forward to his driver's training at all. But all right. So, this is a good question, real quick. Gary, while you're still, it sounds like you'll be here for a minute. Running with Sally says, gents and chat, I have a 2-mile time trial on Tuesday, which is my arch nemesis as of late. Any tips? 2-mile time trial. My advice for that would be to go out 5 to 10 seconds faster than you want to, and then just hold on. Only 5 to 10 seconds, not 20 or 30, because then you'll just gas out. 5 to 10 seconds faster, and if you have to fall back to your pace that you were thinking that you'd be at, then you'll be fine.
I think you got to start with a better attitude. I mean, I don't want to be rude, but you got give me arch nemesis. It's like I get to run a 2-mile time trial. I've run 5Ks. I've run half marathons. This is just 2 miles hard. I got this. I did 2x2 today.
I like vacation, Gary.
I did 2x2 today, and I was hurting. Like, I did 50 miles this week, a race, hills, 11 miles by accident yesterday. I was dying, and I still nailed it because I knew it was just 2 miles. Just knock it out. 2 simple miles. Go in like I get to do this.
Yeah.
I get to run 2 miles If it's just 2 mile time trial and not like a 16-mile long run, I'd rather do the 2 mile time trial.
Man, so you unintentionally ran 11 miles yesterday?
Yeah, I didn't do the math right.
So. Got to carry the 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like that though. Like no arch nemesis. Just get after it. And if it is your arch nemesis, you better be ready to go win. Go after it, and you'll have a good day. I mean, it'll be fine. Wear the right shoes, get some sleep, go crazy.
And I think I'll just add on a small portion. Don't put it on a pedestal like that. Don't give it that much power. And that's basically what Gary is saying. Like, don't, by calling it your arch nemesis, you're giving it quite a bit of power. Don't do that. Just it's 2 miles, bro. Like, go out there and just run it.
All right. Let's get to our next topic. What's up, Gary?
Oh, not you. Hold on.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I'll just talk about my little 18. So I did 18 miles today, and I was really happy about it. It went really well. I felt cool. I left my watch in Thomas's bag. So this morning I'm like going around the house trying to find this watch. Couldn't find it. So I didn't know what to do. Like, I'm not running 18 miles with no like way to track it. There's not a chance. So I'm like, oh, bet. Take the phone, the Strava app. Hit start on Strava. So I'm running and I'm asking everybody what's your distance? And by the time I got to 14 miles, I was a half mile farther than Dante, because of the way that the Strava app works out. So I ended up running like 18.5, which is capped because it's probably around like 17.9 or maybe 18 flat. But it was a good run. The whole purpose of the run was just to have time on feet, be out there, try to not negative split it, but, second half faster than the first, which is negative split, but not like a progressive run. But I felt really good, and I'm like happy about it. My knee kind of had a little, I don't think I maybe stretched properly or whatever beforehand or got warmed up, but I'm gonna try to take care of that. Be careful, but it was a good run though. A good run. Weather was fairly good for today, and holding a phone in your hand for 18 miles is not that fun. Not fun at all.
No, you should have wore a pair of shorts that had a pocket in them, and you could have just put it in your pocket.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Or a run belt of some sort,
Yeah, I was like, because I was already late, so I'm like,
sometimes obstacles are put in the way, but
the obstacle is the way. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Your legs will remember.
All right, so Chris comes from motorcycle racing, which is dope. It seems like most runners don't ever even think about the line of choice. Dang it. That's darn runners.
Line choice.
Line choice? Oh, line of choice. Line choice, yeah. So I was watching, like, I guess cyclers, like, like when they be the racing cyclers. Like, once you pick a line, like when you get those big accidents that happen on those turns, the reason why they say they happen is like once you go into that turn and if you have to pick a line and you're not allowed to like move, like you don't move from it, even if you pick the wrong one, like you just got to go with it because they're going way too fast, and like that's how all of a sudden those big pileups. It's not like because of somebody like tires slipped or somebody. It's just somebody got scared and like come and jumped out of their line because they they didn't want to crash. Like just go ahead and crash, bro, and get out of our way. But don't hit somebody.
One person crash is better than a 30-person pilot.
Yeah, it's a 30-person pilot. And then quickly, we did Tracksmith Twilight 5000 Ann Arbor. Big shout out to Tracksmith for inviting us out. We did the Detroit version and the Ann Arbor one as well. So we called that the Michigan Double. A bunch of runners did the double. We saw a few different people doing this. Shout out to Arnie, who had another grid race. I think he ran faster in that race than he did the one that he won in Detroit.
That's insane because it was warm.
Yeah, for sure. And it was just a really good time. DJ Rue did her thing. And I just really appreciated like the fact that we got to represent, like Detroit and Michigan, like run community by like being on the mics and like and doing our thing, the way we do it. So it hats up to both of y'all because y'all both crushed it. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Other than
Yeah,
the
thanks
race,
to-
other than the race not going great, in my cool down, a bug flew in my eye, and like my eyelid has been swollen for the last 4 days.
There's a lot of bugs out there.
Kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
You'll be okay. God gave you 2 eyes for a reason. Do you want to say something about Tracksmith, Gary?
No, I just wanted to say I thought it was a great time. I thought it was watching. We had what 6 heats, and we were in the
6
third heat. We were in the third heat, and then in Detroit, I was in the second to last heat, and this one I was in the top half of the heats. I mean, the performances out there were just incredible. I mean, just
Yeah.
so
The
fast.
last heat.
Gutierrez, bro.
Oh yeah. So Chris Gutierrez ran 14:37.
38,
Yeah.
7:38, something like that. Yeah.
James says, "How about that 14:30 pacer?" He was like killing it for I think he went almost 2 miles in a t-shirt in
T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hot weather. Like he was and
In a short sleeve Nike shirt, and
Yeah.
was running so and then he did a bit. It looked like they did a pretty big workout after too.
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
I'm like,
Yeah, all those guys were doing something, either
Yeah.
200s or
oh yeah, when you
3-mile
left,
cooldowns or
when you
something.
left, it was out there for another 20-30 minutes, just going nuts. Yeah, that was a good time. In the last heat, the slowest the slowest person in the last heat ran sub 16.
Yeah.
Nuts. Ridiculous.
Oscar. I think it was
Oscar.
Oscar.
Yeah, Oscar. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oscar had a tough day out there. It was hot though. So real quick announcement. You guys didn't even know yet, but Nick's Biosensor, they tapped in with us for the New York City Marathon build. And they gave sponsors or sensors enough for 6 of us to try out and analyze our sweat and electrolyte loss and all that stuff. And I think Ern had one on today. He's been getting some good data from it. And the goal is to help us train and see what we're losing in the way of water, in sweat, to be able to in the marathon or half marathon to properly hydrate on the course and try to play with that chemistry a bit to see what it could turn out to be on the performance end, and wherever you can get little small gains that's where that's a lot. It's not even small gains. If you hit a wall in the marathon at mile 22 when maybe you didn't have to because you properly hydrated, could mean a big difference. But the announcement is that they're going to have a representative on our show next week. So they're going to come on the show next week to discuss. Oh, Aaron, wait. Aaron.
I haven't gotten a reading yet, so
you
I need
got
an hour run to properly get some data.
Yeah, I got my second one today myself, so I've only done 2. So I'll get a couple more before Sunday.
Yeah. And then, but yeah, so she's going to come on the show and we'll be able to talk about the numbers and how it works out and how other people watching could implement this in their training and figure out what to do with it and how and all that good stuff. Because it's a pretty easy thing. Once you put it on your arm, it's almost like you forget it's there because it doesn't poke you or whatever. There's no needle. It's just on top of the skin and collects sweat. So it's actually a pretty dope little device. And I think they won an award at a TRE, the running event last year, at being one of the most innovative new somethings or whatever. I think I probably should have that information, but they're a new company, startup, and they're doing really cool stuff. So Nick's Biosensor will be on the show next week.
I will say the most impressive thing I've seen so far is the number of electrolyte drinks that I've never even heard of on their list of they have here's your percentage, here's the best drink for you. I'm like, I've never even heard of half of these things.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. So I'm all for that.
Yeah, it's dope. And I think just the concept of being able to know whether you are an electrolyte sweater or a water sweater, I think that's that means a lot in a marathon. So
yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's it, guys. I mean, we're definitely over an hour here. Thank you everybody for tapping in. Any closing words for the folks?
Stay in the fight. That's a lot coming from me because I bailed out, but
no, as somebody that didn't stay in the fight, man.
Stay in the fight, man. Stay in the fight. Oh, but real quick, shout out to Simone. Thank you. You know, I got knocked out on Thursday, but I hung in there. I came back and made it work.
Well, you got knocked down. No, you didn't get knocked out. You got knocked out. You got.
Oh no, bro.
You're like, I don't know.
Try your hands, bro.
Oh, Arnie on the show. Okay, yeah, Arnie, we just talked about you earlier. Great time out there Thursday. Much appreciate the work you guys put in on the mics. That energy was everything. That's dope. We appreciate that. Because I mean that was our second time doing that. So, and in Ann Arbor, the first time was Detroit. So I'm happy that we was able to pull up and bring the vibes. All right, guys. So, are you talking about this?
I don't know what's worse, the 8 Mile Tempo or the 5 a.m. part. I think the 5 a.m. part.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, good for you, man. I mean,
shout out Mark, man. Mark does work.
Both of your faces are just like so disgusting with this.
5 a.m., bro. Ugh. That's like 5 minutes from now.
So what you tell me
right now?
Say Mark about to blink and then go out the door. All right, Mark. Have a good run tomorrow. Everybody else out there, be safe, run well. Tap in, follow us on Instagram, the.pr.project on Instagram. Follow Aaron, follow Gary, follow me. Like this episode on YouTube. I think that's it. Subscribe.
Press that button. Smash that like button.
Thank you, Gary, for joining.
Oh, thanks.
I'm sorry, G Money.
I don't think Gary's a fan.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's calling. All the cool kids are doing it.
Well, then in that case, you know me.
You know me.
I'm 47 years old. I'm all about being the cool kids.
Yeah. All right. G Money, we out.
All right.